So hi, welcome to Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
I am Lee Jennings of the Funeral Portrait.
There are some questions to say about their new album, Greetings from Suffocate City. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the album so far?
I think it's been good. I don't know. I don't read reviews.
Okay.
But most have been good from what I've heard, and I don't pay attention to streams. I don't pay attention to any of that anymore. You know, the internet is a dark and scary place, and and I've just decided to only interact with people that are really kind and nice to me.
That's fair enough. That's a good way to go about it.
Absolutely.
But
so no, I think everybody's been really cool. So I've been lucky. You know, we are a lucky band that we have a really cool, tight-knit community around us, and everybody seems to be extremely positive and liking everything that's going on. So
hell yeah. Well, the album fucking rips.
It is incredible, dude. Yeah. You fucking crushed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
So the record title. So when we were thinking of an idea for the record, the name changed probably 3 times, which I'll spill some tea. First one was going to be Generation Psycho, but that was picked by our old managers, and they kind of just liked it. I don't know. It was one of those things at the time too. This was like 2020 when we wrote this song, and like Generation Psycho, and everybody's like, that's gonna be a hit. Like, you know, like, I don't know, it was just one of those feeding things that people were like, oh, the record title, greedy, or you know, Generation Psycho, you know, this is Generation Psycho. And I'm like, no, like, I don't know, it just didn't fit. And then we went this for a very long time, extremely long title. It not only will love kill you, it will hurt the whole time you're dying.
Okay.
That's edgy.
And I loved it. I mean, it was a slogan that we used for a really long time, and I think we still use it on some of our bios or stuff like that, just because it's like kind of funny. But it was way too long, especially for a quote new band. So you know, we'll see where it goes from here. So but yeah, so Greetings from Suffocate City was like, okay, we loved Suffocate City. We loved the world that we were building, because that's kind of what it was. It turned into something completely different. This world that we were building or processing or whatever it was, you know, turned into one thing after the next, you know, of us writing these songs and then trying to find these icons, going back to the cover artwork, the icons for each song and what they stood for, what they meant. So we kind of kept building and building as singles were released, and it built this world of Suffocate City. So then that turned into you know, being like, well, what can I don't want to name the record Suffocate City, you know what I mean, like that's just a name of a song, you know. So it's like, you know, Greetings from, like a postcard, you know, because that's originally what the cover artwork was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like a postcard. It just didn't look good. We tried like 7 different versions of it, and it just, every single time, it was just too cluttered.
That's fair.
So we decided to just take new photos and get all the icons in. We made 3 different icon outfits, because those are like real people in costumes. We didn't use CGI or anything like that. I don't know. I know a lot of artists or a lot of bands love that stuff now, especially with AI art being on the rage. Because it's free, you know, but like, we didn't use any of that stuff. I mean, the background, I guess, Aaron Marsh, who has done some of everybody's favorite cover artworks before, we worked with him. He did like a bunch of Bring Me the Horizon. He's done like, I mean, you name the band or like artists, because he does like all the Teddy Swim stuff now. Like, you name it, he's like done it. So I'm trying to think. So we like had people make different costumes, and they're in what is this they're like statues in front of the like cathedral of Suffocate City. So that's like the whole idea.
Gotcha.
I'm so happy that you brought up the icons because that is something that has always like intrigued me. Just kind of looking at your band and looking at the world that you're creating. How did that idea come about? Because I feel like I don't see any other band kind of have icons for different songs or even albums or anything like that. So what was the process for that?
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted something that was, I don't know. It's hard because like a song is a song, right? You can
Hmm.
listen to it a million times, but what, and you can make a music video too, right? And then you can go to
Hmm.
YouTube and watch it, and how many times does people revisit a music video unless it's like
Hmm.
super iconic or you spend like $1
Hmm.
million on it, like an Iceland Kills video or something?
Yeah.
Um, like I don't have those budgets. So I was like, so what's another way that people can connect to a song or feel something for a song? And that's like a physical being, right?
Yeah.
So we created these icons. And the first one was Voodoo Doll. And it was
Hmm.
kind of like on accident. We were just trying to think of a way to represent each song. And this is we were like, well, let's try and see what we could come up with. And the first version of what the Voodoo Doll angel was supposed to be was going to be this like crazy, like mythical being. And I was like, well, and then it was like it just didn't work, right? And
Yeah.
so we're like, we need someone that something can play it, right? Like a person
Hmm.
can play the character. And so we came up with her, and then we were like, oh well, now we need one for the next single, and that was Alien. And we were like, well, what's kind of cool about Alien? And it's like we wanted someone that was like non-binary. We wanted
Hmm.
somebody that was like, it was just a little different, right? And
Yeah.
so we had them put like the crown of thorns over their eyes and made
Hmm.
blood and in a white suit. It's like that's simple enough, because like
Yeah.
again, we're working on like small band budgets.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
then
Yeah.
it was like, all right, now let's go full out. And it was
Hmm.
all about the night terror. And we wanted
Yeah.
something that was scary, but
Hmm.
kind of fun at the same time. And so he's like this, like, scary clown demon guy, and
Yeah.
those three were the three that I think stuck the most.
Mm.
We made a few more, but I think every song I want one for, but it's a little hard to do but we'll see what happens next, because we just released like with Blood Mother, there is the
Yes.
Blood Mother, and stuff like that. And, I think it's something super special and fun to us. And, hopefully when we start doing more tours, we can bring them out on tour with us or someone to
Yeah.
play them. That's the
Yeah.
idea.
Mhm.
We've
That'd be
played some
fucking
local
awesome.
shows, like here in Atlanta. We've played some local shows and we've been able to use them, which is fun, and people really enjoy it. They'll like want to take photos with them as well, so
Hmm.
I'll have them at the merch table, and it's cute. It's
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah.
something different.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hell
It's
yeah.
fucking
Love
awesome.
it. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
Um, it started in 2020.
Okay.
But technically, I lied. Technically, their song "Holy Water" started in 2018. I think we wrote
Mhm.
"Holy Water." We released it in 2019, and that's what
Mhm.
got the attention of our label
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
managers and booking agent and all that stuff. And then we decided to just be like, all right, like what do we like about the songs that we had? And literally the only song that we actually enjoyed was Holy Water. So
Mhm.
because we had like a whole record done in 2019, and we were like, let's scrap it. So in
Damn.
early 2020, January,
Okay.
before COVID,
Okay.
we were in New Orleans working on songs, and
Mhm.
about 5 of the songs, so Chernobyl,
Mhm.
um, Alien, Generation Psycho, Holy Water, but Holy Water is already done. And then Happier Than You, the first version of Happier Than You. And Hearst for Two. Wow. And Hearst for Two was
Damn.
done in January of 2020.
God
And
damn.
we did it in like 2 weeks. We
Oh
just
my
sat and
God.
did nothing but write music. I'm not joking. We ate canes, like Raising Canes, and
Yeah.
yeah, and literally wrote music for
That's awesome.
nonstop. And we crushed a bunch of songs. And those songs, a lot of those songs then turned into not making it on the record, because then we started working with another producer,
Mhm.
and he really wanted to work on a bunch of new songs. And it was like, all right, well, let's do a bunch of new songs. And half of those songs didn't even make it on the first pass of the record. Well,
Damn.
after COVID, after everything else, we start releasing singles. We start seeing what people are enjoying, and we start enjoying music differently too by this time. I mean, it's 4 years later.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So we go back in the studio of December of last year, and we write 3 more songs. And that would be Doom and Gloom, You're So Ugly When You Cry. And then, oh yeah, we finished up Happier Than You. That's what it was. We kind of changed it. And we then sent everything to the label. We sat down with the label and we picked our favorite songs. And we were like, let's do this. These are our favorite songs. These are the songs that we want to go with. And we did it, and that's where we stand. And it's pretty cool.
God damn, that is a long ass process.
Oh, and
But
there's so much
then
more in
again,
there
short
too.
bursts.
It was
Yeah.
literally 4 years of grinding on this record.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I feel like you could tell as well because it's so refined and clean and everything that should be there is there.
thank
So
you.
it's damn. Okay. So you said you had a full record complete, but you decided to scrap it in 2019?
Yeah, so we when we were unsigned at the time, we had a record ready to go. We were going to do an EP,
Yeah.
and then we kept getting interest by some labels, and they're like, "Well, we want to save some of these songs." The only song that really was saved on there was Holy Water, but we released it and then re-released it now with a new mix.
Yeah.
And that's a whole thing too, is a lot of these songs went through like 3 different versions of mixes from different people and like all these things now with the features too. Cause like there's a version of Dark Thoughts without a feature. Then there's a version with, with Danny from Asking. And then there's like Voodoo Doll with Eve Under Fire, and then it's funny because we wanted to be able to release those 2 songs too. Cause that was part of it is basically the quote DSPs like Spotify, Apple Music, they don't like it when you release more than half of the music before the record comes out. So we needed a new way to let people hear 2 of these songs again, but a new version. So we had 2 features on them. So that's why there's features on those 2.
Gotcha.
Okay, gotcha. And speaking of the features, how did those come about? Did you reach out to them? Did they reach out to you? Did they write their own parts? Did you write it? What was that process like?
So all the songs were done already. And so if we'll go just short through them, Spencer, Ice Nine, it was one of those like no-brainers, he likes us, we like him. It's one of those things that kind of just went back and forth. I sent him the song. He was like, yo, this is great. He was like, did you write this second verse for me? I said, no. I was like, this is just what came out. And he's like, well, it sounds like something I would sing. He talks about like killing people basically, or pound of flesh. Very Spencer words, And so I was like, no. And so he did it. And next thing I knew, I was in an airplane in LA filming the music video with them, or the second half of the music video. Because that's how we did the music video too, is the second half was filmed first before the first half, which was cool. And then the Burt one, I think, was the most special. And not saying, the ones aren't special, but the Burt one was kind of weird because, of course, I grew up loving The Used. I still love The Used.
Right.
And I posted, our A&R when we started working on the record was like, hey, send me a list of like artists that you would want to work with, right? Like or feature on. And so The Used, of course, was at basically the top of my list. And our A&R, Lexi, she was like, oh, I actually know Bert's manager. Do you want me to reach out? Or she was like, fuck it, I'm going to reach out. She was like, I'm going to send him the song. So sent him Ugly. He listened to it, apparently sent it to Bert. Bert was like, oh my God, I love this. Let's do it. Literally the next day, he like tracked his vocals. He like tracked his vocals the next day. Like, cause I sent him like the demo or like the, the rough mix, an instrumental, and then like just my vocals. So that way he could like move stuff around, whatever he wanted to do. And literally like 24 hours later, I have his demo in my hands and I'm like, what is going on? Like it was literally like 2 straight days of just being like, what is going on?
That's insane.
Holy shit, that is incredible. Whoa. And
it was
personally,
insane.
Ugly is my favorite track off the record. I think the combo is a match made in heaven. That shit is crazy. Insane. And then the Eva Under Fire one.
So that we wanted so it sucks because I really wanted a few more like female sounding vocalists, or different than my voice sounding vocalists on the record. And we were having a hard time locking in just different female vocalists, and everyone was super busy, or they had records coming out, or all these other people. It was just one thing after the next. They didn't like the song, or it just didn't fit for them, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Eva, they're on our label, and I always thought she had such a really powerful voice. And so it was one of those things. I just sent it to her, and I was like, "Here's the song. What do you think?" Especially for Voodoo Doll, I just felt like it needed something extra, you know. So that's what I did, and it kind of worked. She just sent literally the same deal. She sent it the next day. She went into the studio and got it done, and I was like, she sent the whole song too, because she just like was like, "Here, pick and choose what you want to use," and that's why that song has like a good bit of her vocals in it, because I wanted that. And that was the same thing with Danny from Asking Alexandria. He basically tracked the whole song and was like, "Here, just use whatever you want." And that was kind of the same thing. Is it seemed like he just enjoyed that song, because we wanted him on Holy Water, and he was like, "Oh, well, what about Dark Thoughts?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." Because he was like, "I like that song." I was like, "Okay, sure, whatever you say."
Go for it, man.
So
you're Danny from Asking Alexandria. You do what you want, man.
Yeah, whatever you want, bro.
Exactly. Fuck yeah, that's incredible. So you kind of already went into it a little bit earlier with kind of the album timeline, but if you want, you could go a bit more in depth. What song off the album took longest to write, and then which one is your personal favorite?
Oh, okay. My personal favorite, I love Hers for Two. It's just kind of a special one, and that's just because it's about my grandmother passing away, and all the emotions that kind of go with losing a loved one. So that was a pretty special one. I love Stay Weird as well. Stay Weird is just corny, cheesy, campy, fun time. But with that was kind of fun, because I wanted to write a song that was like for the younger me, right?
Yeah.
And so that's where that song kind of came from. And I don't know. I'm happy with how this record came out. It's kind of hard because so many of them took the longest, but some have been done forever, and I think the whole record as a whole kind of is what took the longest, right? It's because we kept changing songs. I love Dopamine as well. Dopamine's fun. It's the kind of like a nod to I love Nothing But Thieves, so it's a little nod to Nothing But Thieves and stuff like that. And I think it's just part of what I don't want to say we're a special band, but what I like about my band is that we want to just release whatever the fuck we want. And we're going to just make songs that sound like whatever they sound like, like I said, we have a song Alien, and it's like, it sounds nothing like Suffocate City or, Chernobyl, and that to me is the music that I enjoy. The bands that I grew up loving wrote different songs every time, they're not just releasing the same song over and over again. And I know for a fact the next record, whenever it happens, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to take us probably way too long to do. And not as long.
Yeah, nothing could be four more years, man.
I don't know about that. I don't think I'll be alive then, but I'm a grandpa over here, so it's one of those things that it's like, I don't know. We'll see what happens next.
Gotcha. Hell yeah.
Sounds good.
So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, close be a closer, shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
Generation Psycho was supposed to be the opener, actually.
Yeah.
For the longest time on my like iTunes, where you can like make the playlists, and I would upload all the songs to my phone, so that way I could just like listen to them in order. Generation Psycho was number one, like that, and that's for the longest time. That's why we opened with it, even before the songs were out. We were opening with it just to kind of get the feel. But then when you change the name of the record to, having Suffocate City in it, and the Suffocate City is the big song, it's one of those things that everybody's like, oh, put it number one. And then we moved it to number one. I was like, oh, wait, this kind of works. I like it. It was sick. So I always wanted Hers for Two last. Hers for Two, it almost didn't make the record. Stay Weird is technically, so if you get a physical, Stay Weird is the last song on the record. The label wanted to give DSPs something special, something like a bonus track. So we picked Hers for Two to be technically this streaming closer, but like on the record closer, on the physical it's Stay Weird. And so it's weird that I kind of hit random at multiple times, and that's kind of where the track list for this came, was
Mhm.
like I moved stuff around and I was like, okay, this is cool. I don't know. I got obsessed with it. Like I was literally like, I burnt CDs. Like I'm not joking. I
Yeah.
burnt CDs and I went in my old car to make sure I could listen to it like on a CD, because my new car doesn't have a CD player. So
Yeah.
I
God
was
damn it.
like, I was literally like, I was like burning a CD, listening to it from front to back to make sure they fit or where they were. And finally, when I came to this point, I was like, yes, this. Oh, I'm so obsessed with it.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
Fuck yeah.
I appreciate artists that still take pride in the track list, because obviously we live in a single driven world. So it's like,
Mhm.
you know, even for records, we'll get the answer that's just like, we basically hit shuffle and turned it in.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, and I don't know. It's like the next record. I want to go. I mean, I literally want to write a musical. That's my goal. The songs aren't going to be. It's not going to be a musical.
Mhm.
Like
Okay.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
it's not going to be a musical,
Mhm.
but I want it to be a musical. So there will be a lot more overthinking in the track listing.
Wonderful.
Of the next record. So
Yeah.
That's great. So you
Okay.
had it
So
easy
more
with this
so.
one.
Yeah.
yes.
Fuck yeah. So the next one, I know we're talking about this one, but just to clarify, so more of a concept record. So it's kind of a musical, but not a music.
Maybe, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
We literally start writing on it like soon. So we want to start writing now, because again, as we know, it takes us forever to do anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think we just want next time, because this time was really disjointed. And
Mhm.
that's nobody's fault. That's honestly, I mean, it was a lot of COVID's fault. It was a
Yeah.
lot of, just because, and that was for every band during that time. We are just in the last wave of bands releasing music from that time period, right?
Yeah.
Where most people have already released their COVID records, the records that they were working on during COVID. For us, it just took us a lot longer to do so.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things that I don't like, that we wrote half the record in 2019, another half of the record, or a quarter of the record in 2019, quarter of it in early 2020, a quarter of it in 2021, and a quarter of it late last year. Like I don't like that, because it doesn't make it feel fully like a full record to me, even though I know it is, and I've listened to it a million times. It's just, I'm such a different person from 2020 to 2024. So much in my life has changed and happened, and so many new experiences, and that I can't wait to do a record where I get to just sit down and overthink about it.
Yeah. Huh.
So
Fuck yeah. I hope you get to.
Yeah. With that being said, do you still like resonate with the tracks that are on this record? Because like we talk about, you started this in 2019.
Yes, I do completely, because they're all about a time, right?
Gotcha.
So they're all about a time and place, and how I was feeling, or how someone was feeling during that time, right? So just because, you're just taking it as an example, again, Herser 2, it's about my grandmother dying in 2019. Like that, though, that I can listen to that song and I can feel exactly where I was when I was feeling that way, or where I was going through that. It's never, none of the songs I don't think I've ever written or been a part of writing, or whatever it is, have ever been about like, I don't know. I don't want to say like a moment. They've always been about like a feeling, right? So like, just because that was about my grandmother passing away doesn't mean that same feeling. I'm gonna have that exact same feeling again when my grandfather passes away, right? Because both of them helped raise me. I've lived with them my whole life, right? So, or my mom passes away, right? So that's more what our songs are about than like an incident, I guess, shall I say.
That makes a lot of sense.
Gotcha. Yeah. So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record? I know, as you just said, it was in like chunks. It was drawn out over what, 5 years? So if you could break that down for us.
it was everywhere.
Yeah.
It was everywhere. I mean, I was going through some insanely hard times, to some of the best times, and some of the most freeing times. I wasn't on tour for half of it either, which is different. Like for 2 of the years, like we were just writing music and just existing, working a day job. Everybody was working day jobs and stuff. Like the band was almost back to being like a hobby, even though it was super serious and we knew something big was going to happen. It was just like, it wasn't there yet, right? Like it wasn't, things for us were different. And I think that's also a thing. I think a lot of other bands, something that I talked a lot about, is some of my most favorite of records, right? Released in 2004 or something like that, or whatever year it was, right?
Yeah.
The reason why those records sound the way they do or mean the way they do, not just to me, but to everybody or to the artists, is because those artists needed those records to work, right?
Yeah.
Like now, it's no shade to Green Day, but like Green Day live in mansions, right? They don't need a record to pop off anymore. They had a record pop off. They have a tour that pops off, right? It's the same thing with any of these bands. It's even going back to like one of my favorite bands, Say Anything, right? Like Say Anything, like Max is okay now, right? Like he's not back in 2003 or whenever he was writing as a real boy, he was in and out of freaking mental hospitals, right? He's not doing that anymore. So how is he's not going to be doing that, he's not going to be writing the same way, and I think for us, this record, it's just like anything that we do, it means so much to us because it is life or death. We life or death to our band, maybe not to our person, but to our band, because we've worked so hard for these moments, and tried to capture them the most that we can. And it's weird. It's hard, thinking about a next step when you just release something, but I want to start now. I don't know. Again, it's not that I'm not over this record. It's the fact of like, I don't want it to take 5 years. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have so much to say right now too, and I have so much to do right now that I want to do it now. I want like part 2, maybe part 2 or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha. Hell
Damn
yeah.
right.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should you do it in the car with friends and talk with headphones on? Is workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
However they see fit, because it's going to hit people differently. I know that. And it's weird because like, I didn't think people were going to care. Like, I'm being serious. Like, again, this band, for the longest time sat at like 50,000 monthly listeners. You know what I mean? Like nobody cared about my little band. You know what I mean? Like, yes, we had a core group of like super fans that were like, I think they were more just fans of us as humans. And that comes with it too. I think our band, carries that a lot. I think we're very personable people. I think we're very quote good people. I think people like to be around us. I think we like to have fun. That's why meet and greets and all those things are so important to us. But I honestly didn't think anybody would even listen. So the fact that there is people listening at all, whatever state of being they are, is pretty cool. I love listening to music in the car. I love driving and listening to music. That is my most favoriteest place to listen to music. It just absorbs into my body. I'm not a headphones fan. I can't just put headphones on unless I'm at the gym. Even on the airplane, I don't like listening to music. I personally just rather sit there in silence. I don't know. There's just something about driving in a car, feeling music that is just so cool and so unique. So I hope they're driving, listening to it, or in the passenger seat.
Okay.
Yeah. It is so funny that you called out specifically listening to it on an airplane, because that is how I listened to it for the first time.
I love that. That's
airplane
so
with headphones. Yeah.
That's
I was
so
like,
funny.
damn, shit. Okay. I mean,
We had a podcast to do Tuesday morning as soon as she got off the plane.
Exactly. Yeah. Damn. So this one should be super, super quick off top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Real,
Okay.
honest,
Mhm.
emotion.
Damn right.
There you go. Those are great. So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
I think of the word honesty as an emotion.
Okay.
It maybe isn't, right? Like I don't know. I think being an honest person, being a real person is you know, again, I don't know. I think in lieu of everything that's ever going on, I think people make mistakes. I think people do things that they maybe don't want to do, or that they don't think of, or that they have to deal with every single day. That could be in their personal life or whatever it is, you know. And as long as you're being true to yourself and being honest to yourself, I think that's all that truly matters. And you might not know that, right? Like, again, you know, finding yourself and doing all these things, like, it takes time. And I don't know, it's weird being honest and being a real person and owning up to your mistakes, or being okay with who you are, is half the battle.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Damn right. Wonderful. So are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments during the creation of the album, positive or negative?
Well, it took forever.
Yes.
And most of it was the COVID thing. I think some of it was like, we were working with 2 producers that were extremely talented, but they had never worked together before. So sometimes when you have too many cooks in the kitchen, and this is no shade to either of them, again, they are both geniuses, but then you put in a band who have cooks as well, you know, it's just so many cooks in the kitchen, you know, that it makes things hard to get done in a timely manner, because everybody wants their hand in the pot. That was a big thing that took a long time, was just getting on a rhythm. And I think COVID made it so that way we couldn't all be together at all times either. And so it was like, oh, well, we'll work Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or we'll work on this week. We're only going to work on Monday. And that was just because we were recording here in Atlanta and stuff, and people were busy and this and that. Life just kind of got in the way. Life was a huge one. And I got to experience life for a while too. And it's so different. My life now is so different than it was then. So it's kind of crazy to think of where things are, you know?
Gotcha.
That's completely valid.
Hell yeah. Gotcha. Well, since you're fresh off the tour and you're about to go out again, we have to ask, what's your go-to snack at a gas station or a rest stop?
So I do like a low carb, like keto diet. So any of those like Quest bars or chips or any of those, they make so much now, and they're like available everywhere. I also drink a lot of Ghost energy.
I fucking love Ghost. Yeah.
I know. It just makes you feel good, you know? Feel good. It's good. It's a good drug, you know? No, so I drink a lot of those. I don't drink coffee. I should start just drinking coffee. I don't drink coffee. That is my New Year's resolution, is to drop the energy drinks and just drink coffee.
Gotcha.
So, just drink coffee.
Setting the resolution early.
Yes.
All right. All right. And on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Oh, wow. Pizza.
Pizza? Okay.
Just look at us, you know? There's lots of different toppings going on here. So
just look at us. That's all right. Fuck yeah, pizza it is.
That's awesome.
No, like, come on. Like we all like are just so unique looking, and just so like, yeah, I get it. We're all like white dudes, right? But it's like, it's just, you know, it's just it's like a cheese pizza, right? So you take the cheese pizza, right? And then you're gonna put like pineapple on it, right? And then you're gonna put olives on it, and then you're gonna put pepperoni on it, okay? And then you're gonna put, this is where it gets crazy, okay? You're gonna put anchovies on it too.
Oh.
So, yes. So
Okay.
that was the ruiner, right? So because everything's a
gonna
little
say.
different, everything tastes completely different, and you're like, why is all these things on a pizza together?
What's
It shouldn't
happening?
work. Shouldn't work. But
Yeah,
that pizza's
but
probably
it
good.
does.
So
Yeah, it's probably good as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And for the last couple questions, going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row. So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
ooh, drink would be a Ghost Energy or a Coke Zero.
Okay.
Maybe
Oh.
pour them together.
Oh.
I don't know.
Well,
Coke Zero though. Coke Zero just hits better than a Ghost. So Coke Zero. Coke Zero.
Okay.
Okay. And then just some nice Korean barbecue, you know? But I want to make it. I want to make it myself one last time.
Oh.
You know, I want
Yeah,
them
yeah,
to
yeah.
bring out the freaking the grill. I need my
Mhm.
cuts of meat, you know, I need
Mhm.
my side dishes. I need my
Mhm.
little bowl of salad, you know, and I just
Mhm.
need a and it's just sizzling while I'm
Yeah.
sipping on my Coke Zero,
Damn right.
sipping on my Coke Zero,
Mhm.
thinking about how I'm about to die, right?
Yeah.
I'm about to die
Yeah.
and my meat's just sizzling, how I'm about
Sizzling.
to sizzle, you know, in that electric chair.
Right. Perfect.
Awesome.
I fucking love it. And if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Pokemon, the Pokemon world, like wherever,
Yeah.
Kanto, wherever the hell they want to send me, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. Send me straight to the Elite Four. I don't care. Like,
Why the fuck not?
oh, dude, I want Pokemon to be real. I used to beg God, when I
Mm.
was younger,
Yeah.
to make Pokemon real.
Did
My
the
life would be
same
so much
shit.
better if Pokemon were real.
Yeah, I do the same shit. I feel like, God, if you're real, please give me a Pokemon. If
Yeah.
not, just end it now. That type of shit. Fucking
Yep.
crazy. Yeah. Pokemon's not real though, so
I know.
there's that.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
not yet.
Yeah. Not true. True. We still have time.
We do.
Still
That's
have time.
true. That's
Mhm.
true. And I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Changes. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Right now, it's this. It's the green. It's
green.
like this slime green. It needs to be redyed, but it's about the green, right?
Mhm.
Growing up, it was always red, and I think a lot of that had to do with the red Power Ranger, right?
Yeah.
And then also the red version from Pokemon.
Fuck
But
yeah.
as soon as I dyed my hair this color, my
Mhm.
whole wardrobe, my whole life existence has now turned to this color. So
Damn. Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I
love
think
how it
I think
worked
that
out.
happens like just people dye their hair and that just like that color
it
becomes their
sucks that
personality.
when I do the next
Mhm.
record and I change my hair color, everything I own has to change then.
It's over. Yeah, it's so fucking over.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
You guys, thank you guys so much for meeting with me. I know we've tried to do this like 7 times, and I feel horrible. Let me say, thank you so much for having me. You know, both of you two have been nothing but incredibly nice to me and to my band over the past year, I guess we've known of each other. So
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
Of
Of
course.
course.
Well, appreciate you sitting down with us. This has been Lee Jennings from the Funeral Portrait, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.